So I cheated on our 4-year relationship, and now Carolyn's building a tiny house by herself. Of course, this is the drama part of the channel, so I'm going to keep that towards the end, because this is a vlog, and as a vlog and as a YouTuber, you got to do vloggy things. Now you may hear the generator running down there. It's running pretty fast, actually. I would like to take you down there to show you the whole operation, but it's kind of noisy. That's our new generator. That one was a Power Smart or Power Max or Power something or another. I bought it after this one here died. This one we had for 4 years, and man, it has been a champ. It's called Champion, and it's lived up to its name. I might be able to still resolve some of the issues. You'll see down here, maybe, that everything is just filthy dirty. And so there is a piece with a little fin thing that has got dirt all over it as well. I think that fin thing is something to do with the inverter, which is the inverter is what turns DC electricity into AC electricity. That's my last guess, is it's so dirty, maybe it overheated, because I feel like it's an overheating problem, actually. I don't think there's anything wrong with the engine. So we bought that other one down there, and it's not powerful enough to run the refrigerator or the air conditioner for Carolyn's son. So I have to modify the system a little bit to make that work. So earlier I was running Carolyn's son's air conditioner off the solar panels, but you might be able to see the sun just popped back out while I was recording. It's pretty cloudy, partly cloudy, mostly cloudy. I was running on solar panels when the sun was out, but then the clouds got up underneath the sun, and instantly the voltage dropped from, I don't know, 13.1 down to 11.9, which is dangerously low. The inverters immediately started alarming, saying there was a low voltage from the batteries. So I ran down there as fast as I could, started up the generator, and I hooked the battery chargers up to it. So now I have 2 battery chargers, one at 25 amps, the other one's at 10 amps, because that's all that little generator can pull is 35 amps from those battery chargers. And then I got whatever electric I can make from the sun with the solar panels. What I've seen is it's about 12 to 15 amps that I'm producing from the sun. Now when it comes out, the sun comes out, it is absolutely incredible. The other day I told you that the charge controller kind of shuts down things at 30 amps. That's all I really would need to pull. Now my solar panels have a lot of cracks and different things in them. Just over the last few years they've gotten damaged. One of them flipped over and got cracked, and so they don't produce quite as much electricity as they used to. But they're supposed to produce 5.4 amps when they're new. And I know I'm not producing that, which is fine, but after the clouds covered the sun, they came back out for another half hour, the sun did. So I shut off the generator, and I was producing 41 amps. So I'm thinking that the solar panels can only produce 54 amps. So at 41 amps, I'm thinking, you know, that's pretty good. Now the thing is normally we don't run an air conditioner or any heavy loads like this. So this is very unusual for our system. The reason I have so many solar panels is for cloudy days, I can still get the batteries charged. I think the way you should set up your system is you get as many solar panels as you need for cloudy days. The sunny days, I have plenty of electric. Like I just said, we're running an air conditioner, we're running a freezer. I turned on the saw just to see how much I could pull. It was kind of neat to watch that many amps coming through it. I've not seen that too many times, if ever. I'm not sure I ever got over 40 amps before. With the 2 battery chargers hooked up to the generator, plus the roughly the 12 amps I'm making from cloudy day off the solar panels, I'm getting about 40 amps, 42 amps, something like that, which is charging the batteries, running the air conditioner, and running the freezer. So I was told in the comment section that I should make a free generator. Now, I've told you in the past that I am not a builder around here. This is an off-grid channel, and I try to stick with that. I'm pretty satisfied with the system we got. So this is living free. This is what the channel's about, living free. So I replied, no, I shouldn't. But somebody replied, there is no such thing as free energy. And I mostly agree with that statement. That's pretty true. There's a lot of people who believe that there is a perpetual motion machine out there. Now, I don't know if this is what this guy was talking about. He said, build a free generator. I think I know what he's talking about. But if you're talking about building something that uses no resources that cost money, I don't know of anything. If you're talking about a perpetual motion machine, you can Google that. There is no such thing as free energy other than solar panels. Solar panels still use energy. It happens to be free energy. It's for the sun. The sun is a big hydrogen ball. You can make hydrogen cars. You can make hydrogen generators. Hydrogen is a really useful gas, and it's actually not hard to make. My dad and I used to make hydrogen balloons when we were a kid. When I was a kid, he built this whole setup, and it's not hard to do at all. I mean, it's absolutely simplistic how you do it. I'm not going to tell you because I don't think I can on YouTube, because it could be turned into an explosive. Second, third grade I was in, and I was making hydrogen balloons. So that's the same thing. The Zeppelin, Hindenburg, I think it was called the Hindenburg. Caught on fire, that big famous picture back in the early 1900s. So it's a big hydrogen ball, which is producing energy for the solar panels. So nothing is free of energy. So if we're talking about perpetual motion machine, there's no such thing. Now you could have windmill, and again, wind is energy. When they talk about storms on the Weather Channel, they're talking about the energy. There's always energy in the system, and wind is an energy. So it takes movement, it takes energy to move something to make electric. We just don't have the technology to make electric out of nothingness. Maybe if you had magnets or somehow, I don't know. I mean, it would all be theoretical, and I'm not that smart. I mean, I've done a lot of neat things in engineering design, but I'm just not that smart. These things are going to have to left up to people like Einstein and Hawkins and those kind of guys. Not me. So then you could have geothermal. I mean, you could dig a hole in the ground. I don't know how much heat you could have geothermal electricity. I just don't know. It doesn't seem like you could get very much heat out of it. So you would have to produce steam. This is all I know. You'd have to be able to produce steam, like a steam engine, to make something go around. So I don't understand how that would work. I mean, I guess I could research it, but man, that would be costly trying to build something like that, I would think. Everything else that I could imagine this guy's talking about costs money. You've got the generator, that's not free. I mean, we have the propane dual fuel generator, that's gasoline and propane, but obviously gas costs money, propane costs money. There's a lot of things you could do to make this thing go. Even if you had a horse, let's say you had a horse and you're walking a horse around, or a dog, or any animal, it still has to burn energy, food. So you'd have to grow the food, burn the energy. Everything takes energy. Now, there is something called a gasifier. This is what I suspect the guy's talking about. A gasifier generator I could build. If I had an old generator that still worked, I could build it quite easily, actually. It's not that difficult. So a gasifier works on the same principle as a candle, kind of. I've tried this experiment when I was a kid. What you do is you light a candle up, you blow it out, and then the smoke starts to come out of the wick. You take a match, and when that smoke hits that match, you can relight the wick. That smoke has material in it, flammable material, that will ignite when a flame is put to it. And it works similar to our wood stove. I've talked about the wood stove. It has reburners on it. The reburners are tubes, air tubes, at the top of the wood stove. And when they get hot, they can take the smoke that comes up off the wood, and when the smoke hits that reburner, that hot reburner, it flashes into a blue flame. It's really pretty. I've tried to show it on camera. The camera just doesn't pick up on it, but it is beautiful to watch. And that makes the wood stove efficient. Very few wood particles are coming out of the chimney, because smoke is nothing but wood in the gaseous form. So you're burning wood particles. Those wood particles, if they're wet, can heat up, get inside the chimney, and cause creosote. It's just a tarry substance. That creosote, which is wood particles, is very flammable. So it builds up on the inside of your chimney. A spark hits it eventually, and now you have a chimney fire. That's how chimney fires are started, is from wood particles. In this case, wet wood particles. So when we run the wood stove, we run dry wood, 20% or less. And so when it smokes, there's no water in it. It hits those air tubes, flames off, and it's 80% efficient. Ours is. You can get them up to 90, almost 100% efficient now. So if you were to build a gasifier generator, it's very simple. What you have here is your air filter. It's pretty much this simple too. So you take the gas out of it, you open up your air filter intake here. I would leave the filter on so you don't clog it up with dirt. And then you would build a system somehow. It could be just a chimney, and you put your generator over the smoke of the chimney. The smoke is filtered into the air intake of your generator. That's it. Comes in here. And so when you pull the rope, the spark plug ignites that smoke. And so now it's sucking in smoke. The spark plug keeps igniting that smoke, and it's called a gasifier. I've seen TV shows build trucks, pickup trucks, with a gasifier on the back of the pickup truck. So that, I would think, a lot of people would consider free energy. I, however, do not. And the reason I don't call it free energy is because I have to work for the firewood. People seem to not understand the value of things. Money has no value. Gold doesn't have no value. When you give me a minute and I'll explain. Wood has no value. None of it has value until I put labor into it. Labor has value. Some people don't seem to understand this. If I pull this weed and I say now it has value, and I try to give it to someone and they're willing to buy it, the labor that I put into moving it from one spot to the next, that's my labor. That's the cost of that. The labor. Of course, materials, but in this case, cutting down firewood, there is no materials involved, except maybe the chainsaw, the gas that you had to use in it. So if it takes me 8 hours to cut down a tree to run this generator for 3 weeks, my value, the value that I put into that, it seems to me it's not very free at all. If it takes me 8 hours to cut down a tree for 3 weeks worth of electricity, I can get electricity a lot cheaper than that. Firewood, I can sell for $250 a cord, $300 a cord. So 3 trees, I don't think it would take me 8 hours to take down a tree. Let's say 3 trees, just to make it nice and simple. Takes me about 8 hours maybe to do 3 trees, cut it up, get it split, put it on a truck, haul it, $300. That's the value of my labor. So no, I don't consider a gasifier free. Now, the other problem with a gasifier is it's very inefficient. You're not getting full efficiency out of that log. Some of it is just going to burn up when you light the log on fire. Some of it's just going to burn up. Now, they use wood chips and different things. I mean, there's a lot to it. You can Google it and go on YouTube. They'll show you how to do it. But it's essentially, you want the smoke. Then all the smoke that bypasses your generator just goes out into space. That's all waste. So you're wasting a lot of your labor into nothingness. You're just burning it up. You're just letting the smoke go through into outer space. Whereas if I put the wood in the wood stove, 80% of my labor is being used up in the wood stove because it's an 80% efficient wood stove. Like I said, I could get a more efficient one. But when you're looking at your labor and free energy, the energy should be used as efficiently as possible. Such as, like, I'm running the generator right now to run the battery chargers. That is actually probably more efficient than just hooking a air conditioner into a generator. Because when the air conditioner shuts off because it cycles, you're still running the generator, but nothing's being pulled from it. So doing it my way, when the air conditioner shuts off, I'm still charging batteries. That's the most efficient way to use it. So I try to look at everything as efficiently as possible. Now, as far as me cheating, and Carolyn's building a little tiny house. As you know, about 4 years ago, we built a little truck camper. Somebody burned down our pop-up camper. So we wanted to continue to travel for a while. So we built this down in Florida, down at Dad's house. Sorry about the generator. And then when we moved here, I built a base for it because the base used to be just the truck bed. So you can see right here, that's a base that I built at Mom's house. And then when I took the camper off the truck, I set it down on this base. That gave us a floor. Now the floor wasn't that great. It's made out of 2x2s. Well, the whole thing's made out of 2x2s. So now the floor, I actually put my foot through it the other day. But you can see that it's starting to wear out. It's getting old. So Carolyn's getting a little concerned that this is gonna fall down, and this is where our batteries are. Now we named this the Phoenix because coming out of the ashes from the fire, it's been an old friend. It's really protected us. It's done a great job protecting us. As a matter of fact, we went through Mississippi and there was a tornado, knocked down a bunch of trees, and we were There's video of this, and we were, oh, it was the most scariest thing I've ever been through. And the camper made it through just fine. It was incredible. So Carolyn bought a shed, a metal shed, and she's building her own little tiny house now, a little shed. It's going to be actually bigger than the camper was, a little taller too. So she didn't want my help. She's insisting that she does this herself. So I feel like I'm cheating on the old camper. It's been a friend, just like the old generator. We got the old generator and the camper about the same time. So we're gonna miss it, but we got to do something. I mean, it's got tarps on it, trying to keep the water out now. And then we'll transfer all the batteries and the charge controller out of it. So if you'll click the up next box to take you to a video where I was talking about working with your wife so you can live off grid. So I hope I can inspire you to think efficiently so you can live your dreams. Thanks for watching.